know what's hard for me? What's hard for me is moving through life and not being seen. You know, that's a hard thing. It's a hard reality to be around people who do not see you clearly and therefore cannot understand you fully. It's a sad reality. In this moment, I'm thinking about work and how when we're not seen clearly, it opens the door to so many challenges and problems and misunderstandings. And it's like, wow, you're relating to me from a place that isn't in any way connected to and aligned with who I am. And yet I'm on the sort of receiving end, the effect of the cause. That's hard. I'm thinking about communication. I'm someone who, I'm a straight, no chaser kind of person. I'm a direct and clear communicator. I enjoy that. I like the way that I communicate, and I receive communication the way that I give it. I also recognize that isn't, for everyone. And there's a reason why I am that way. One, I guess it's my natural inclination for whatever reason, personality, childhood, upbringing, all the things. Who knows, right? The unknown knowns. And also, it's my practice because it's my preference. Why? It removes the questioning. It takes the guesswork out of the equation. I actually say what I mean and mean what I say. I don't waste my words. And it makes me someone you can trust, someone you can count on, someone you can easily understand and know. It also requires a great amount of self-knowing and care and inner cultivation to trust the way of my voice. It also says that I want to connect so much so that I'm willing to tell you the truth from my place. It may be different from yours, and that's fine. Tell me your truth. It's so unfortunate when, really in any aspect of your life where you're being yourself and other people misinterpret that or misperceive it, or based on who they are, they take it and it becomes misconstrued as, or whatever that other person is bringing just alters their perception and therefore they can't see you clearly. I've been dealing with that at work. It's not easy. Being around people who are not of my culture, who have privileges and power, and they can say something seemingly benign and not understand the ripple effect. That's a privilege. And then you don't even see your privilege. It's such a privilege to not be able to see privilege. And I've been navigating this lack of communication and clarity, hidden behind spaces and places and walls, not understanding yet interventions being implemented. It's so murky that it points at difference. And it also points at how power can shut things off, because if I'm in a position of power, I don't even have to talk to you. And that's sad. And I'm just thinking about what true team, true connection, true relationship, true partnership means, what it looks like. It has to look like communication. It has to look like clear understanding. For me, it has to look like direct knowing, because otherwise I'm having you guess or ask me more and more about what I mean, or it's like I'm outsourcing the work to you. It's hard not being seen, being misperceived, and yet knowing the truth of who I am and turning always toward the truth and seeing it from all of the angles, from all of the possibilities. And still wanting to just hear what is from the person who knows. Communication is so important. And it's so lacking. Just across all subjects, all interactions. It's so unfortunate that we can't gather and sit and say, hey, I know you are a direct communicator, and when you said this, even though that may be true, that was hard to hear. Tell me more. Of course, I wasn't wanting to hurt you in any way. Tell me more. What did that feel like for you? What do you need from me? If there's a truth that may be hard, how would you prefer to hear it? But we have to be willing to say, hey, ouch, that kind of hurt. We have to be willing to be vulnerable. And if we're not going to be vulnerable, we're just going to be angry and resentful. And that's going to build and build and build and build. It's going to be awkward and just all the things that truly no one wants. So when do we invest in communication? When do we say, I truly want to understand. I want to see you clearly. I want to set aside my preconceived thoughts, notions, ideas, my taking it personally, my defense. Let me set that aside so I can just hear you. Maybe if I hear you, I hear myself too. If I listen to you and hold your pain, then I allow myself to hold my own pain. You know, growing up, I always wanted to be seen. I was well provided for. And of course, I'm grateful for that. And this is not me pointing This is me sharing my experience. I never felt seen still. And so feeling seen, being seen clearly is very important to me. And I think it is a factor that drives my desire to explore the fullness of communication, to not turn away from, but to turn toward, and to go deep, no matter how hard or heavy or dark or painful or raw, rage and anger or deep sadness and grief or joy. I go all the places. And I go to those places so that I might know, because I also want to be known. And I recognize that the knowing is not with everyone. Not everyone will know. Not everyone will see us. Not everyone has access and capacity, desire, will, wherewithal, grit, staying power, spiritual practice, presence. Not everyone will have those things. And so I have to be with that. And still, it's my responsibility to communicate my thoughts, my feelings. And I am the unpopular person. I'm the voice that people are waiting to hear, and the voice they sort of turn toward or to in many ways. And then the words and the messages, sometimes it's like, whoo, it's the voice you want to hear, but not really in those moments. But I know deeply that the hearing is how we get to it, because it's not a pointing. It's not a judgment. It's just looking closely. And I want to look closely. I want to be seen closely. I want to be seen well. And when I am in situations where I put it all out there to be seen and requesting to see you, and still the side of you misperceives and just turns it in some other place, it's challenging to be with that. And yet it's a practice to be with it, because guess what? Everything is a part of the path. I meet it all as a part of the path. I practice in the moment being with. It's not about what I want. It's about what is happening, what is before me. How do I meet what is before me, period? And when my mind wants to create some story, go there into all of the things, I bring myself back to the meeting. How do I want to meet it? I want to be seen, and yet not everyone will see me. So how do I meet the unseeing of me? It's not easy. And it's sad. And it is still information and truth. And my wisdom says, be with the information and truth. And know clearly what is and what isn't. And keep steady your eye and your ear, that you might see clearly and hear clearly. And whatever you desire that isn't based on what is, may it be released into the ether, to the vast unknown, to the space and place of quiet, that the mind is free from the spinning, from the turning wheel. and rests steadily with equilibrium and grace. It's hard navigating life and relationships or professional matters not being seen. And yet we cannot control the sight of another's seeing. And so we find all of the depth within ourselves and we go down deep to the root, to our truth, where we know ourselves so well and so fully that there is nothing but the sight of true seeing, where we know ourselves and knowing ourselves is sufficient. May we rest and dwell there. May we rest and dwell there. Thank you for journeying with me. This was my own processing, my own affirmation, my own communing with you, with the divine, with deep knowing, with truth. I'm so grateful to be inside this lifetime with the capacities that are, and for the unknown. It holds far more than I will ever know. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate your company. It's been very holding this evening. Thank you. Come back around.